Assalamu alaikum, children. I will repeat what we learned till now. We were dealing with the chapter The Call of the Soil, Ascent of Rice, the first crop. As you know, this is about the writer Venkatayya, who is a newly farmer who left his job to become a farmer in the Now Taluka Palghar district, Maharashtra. And the main and the major thing of Ayer is that he wanted to grow the crop without using any chemicals. That means he is a very organic farmer. So in this situation or in this process, he met one person, Moru Dada, who is the broker and who had given him the idea to plant mung in his farm. And suddenly Ayer decided to grow mung, and he went to Surat and brought 10 kilograms of mung. And then when he saw the leaves coming out of the seeds, he felt overwhelmed. Now we will see. Now see from here. The next thing Moru Dada wanted to do was spray some pesticide on the plants. He claimed that it would give a higher yield. This was something we didn't want to do. Now see, the writer wanted an organic fur, but Moru Dada forced him that we need to spray pesticide on the plants. Pesticide means जो कीड़े मकोड़े होते हैं उनको भगाने के लिए स्प्रे करना पड़ता है. Then otherwise they will all eat your small plants. This was something we didn't want to do. We were clear that we would not use any chemicals and tried to explain it to him. He reacted as if we had suggested harakiri. हराकेरी मीन्स ऐसा एक्सप्रेशंस आए मोरू दादा के जब हमने बताया कि हम केमिकल्स नहीं डालना चाहते. हराकेरी मीन्स इफ़ लाइक खुद को ही चाकू से मतलब या फिर सर्ट से मार के खुद को ही कुछ नुकसान पहुंचाने को इज़ कॉल्ड एज हराकेरी. It took a lot of convincing to ensure that Moru Dada and his friends didn't use any chemicals on the farm. They refused to understand how crops could grow without sprays. Moru Dada was very surprised when we told him that we want a farm without chemicals and without sprays of any chemicals. So he was very surprised, and it took lots of time to convince him. And even he refused to understand how it can be possible, how a crop can be grown or without that too, without sprays. Now see, contrary to what everyone had told us, nature did her job and she needed no bribes to get the work done. Soon it was harvest time and we managed to respectable 300 kilograms. An awful lot of मूंग and with it a lot of confidence. जब हमारे खेत में बहुत सारी मूंग आई and we gained the confidence. Now I was certain the land was fertile and that it was possible to grow crops without chemicals. When Venkat Iyer is successful in his first attempt by growing moong without chemicals, now he became very confident and he came to the conclusion that the land of his farm is very fertile and that too he can grow any kind of crop without chemical. It was a major morale booster. That means it boosted him, बहुत उनको हिम्मत मिली. Now we will see the scent of rice. The first, the moong, now the second one. The first year I was late for the rice sowing season and had to resort to growing the GR4 variety that was short term and recommended by the agricultural officers at Kosbat. Now see, the writer now decided to grow rice, sow rice, because it was the season going on. GR4 means grade 4 variety, that type of. So he decided to grow rice now, in his farm, and it was very short term and recommended by the agriculture officers at Kosbat. Kosbat is the name of a place, it is a small village, and the person of officer of the Kosbat recommended to a year to grow rice. The next year we decided that we would start early and try to find some good traditional variety of rice to grow. So the next year we decided that, me and my colleagues who helped me, we decided that we should grow the rice now, that too traditional variety. We had read about traditional varieties of rice and knew that they didn't require very high inputs of fertilizers. These varieties were also quite strong and resist pests. We were sure that it was this type of rice that would grow well in our farm, where we don't use any chemicals at all. Now Iyer was very much sure that the type of rice which he wants in his farm doesn't require much inputs, because they are very used to not used by the chemicals. Our previous year's experience and low yield had taught us a lesson, and we were sure we would not plant hybrids this year. So he was sure about his plan of this year. So he decided to grow the crops. In April 2005, we started to look for a good variety of traditional rice. It was one of our neighbors in the village, a businessman from Mumbai who owned land, who suggested that we plant a local scented variety of rice. Now, the writer wanted to grow the rice. So, some people came and suggested him to do this and do that. And one businessman from Mumbai came into and suggested him to grow the scented variety of rice. Most of the farmers in and around the village of Pet had switched over to hybrids. The younger generations, the younger generation of farmers thought I was crazy to ask for the desi variety, as they called it. लोगों को बहुत ताज्जुब हुआ कि आप देसी कैसे करोगे, कि हम तो हाइब्रिड फसल उगाते हैं, देसी कैसे लाओगे आप. My regular visits to the villages around searching for a good traditional variety also didn't yield any results, and we were almost giving up hope. But in searching the traditional variety of the rice and how to grow it, he is continuously in search, Venkat Iyer. But all the hopes and all the things got, and he decided to give up. I decided to give it on one last try and spoke to Babban's father and some other elders. After many meaningful conversations, they mentioned the name of Kasbai. And सबसे बात करने के बाद, father से, elders से बात करने के बाद, they decided the name of Kasbai. We will do it tomorrow.